Hey guys, welcome to what I believe is going to be the last video going through these bookshelves. I don't know if I'm going to have another unhaul video or two before we move, but today we're finishing up here. So a couple things to note. This is the third video going through these. I also have a couple of videos going through my TBR shelves. My dishwasher's going, I'm sorry, like I said in my last video, it's life. It's kind of annoying, but we'll deal. So all the books that I unhaul today are books that I don't have to move with me when we move, which is great. And I'm really feeling like in the mood to get rid of all the books. So it's a really good day to do this. I will be just selling these books locally because I live in Canada. Shipping, even within Canada, never mind internationally, is insane, more than the cost of the book. So it's just not possible. So I'm gonna do my best to sell them locally so I can get rid of some books and make a little bit of money as well. So in my last couple videos we went through, my first one we went through that shelf row and that one all the way along. Today we're going to be starting, I think, there, and then we're going to move down, and yeah, we'll just do the remaining bookshelves. There's a lot of middle grade today and other stuff as well, so let's just get into it. Okay, this shelf just becomes, well, this whole like smaller bookcase thing becomes a collection of random things. So like I have a tablet, that's mine, and a kid's little drawing boogie board thing with the cat drawing on there. So we'll just move those out of the way. And we've got a bunch of papers. Okay, now, oh, and a kid's notebook. Never mind, it just keeps going. So we have the New City Catechism. We do this together as a family. 1000 Bible Q&A. I just hauled that actually. I've got a couple of really old poetry books here. Anthology of Modern Verse, as in modern from like the 1940s or 50s. Prose and poetry for enjoyment. This used to be in a classroom. Obviously kids wrote their names everywhere. These need to just go on my poetry shelves. I've got a random coloring book and more papers that don't need to be there. Ology. Sometimes we do this together as a family, sometimes we do it in our homeschool. And then a couple of Agatha Christie books that no longer fit on my Agatha Christie shelf. So this is her autobiography. Oh, some stuff that kids have tucked away. Come Tell Me How You Live. I think this is, it's an archaeological memoir. I don't know why it's not on my unread shelf. Those should be downstairs. Agatha Christie's Who's Who's. This is all her characters and information about them. It's pretty cool. It's just something I want to keep. And then 5 classics of hers, and I think I've read all of them, although sometimes they get published under different names, so I have a hard time remembering which ones I have read and I haven't, but those will stay up here. And then we'll move down. Okay, this one is pretty empty. I've got my son's Bible there. The Kingdom of Cults handbook. I really think cults are intriguing, so I bought this book a couple years ago and read all the way up until page 60, but I have never read any further, so I think I just need to get rid of this one. How to Pray, A Simple Guide for Normal People. It's another book that I started, got up to page 50. I haven't read any more. I would like to keep it, and I should put this on my unread shelf as well, actually. And then we've got a couple poetry books. I really enjoy Jane McMorland Hunter's poetry collections, so I've read all of those. This is one of my absolute favorite poetry collections, A Poem for Every Day of the Year. These also should be in on my poetry shelf. And then there's this really vintage Robin Hood book, which I've never read, and I don't think I even ever intend to, so I'm gonna get rid of this. Now we're getting onto my middle grade shelves, and my plan for these is to pull out books I don't want to keep and then run them by my kids and see if they agree. If they want to keep some, that's totally fine. Yeah, so where do we start? Start with the ones on the top, I guess. Okay, this is where we'll probably disagree. No one has read this book. It's the second book after Peter Nimble. I started this and I couldn't get into it. It's just too weird for me. But my daughter loved it. So personally, I would say these could go. But I'll put them on a pile. She might disagree with me. Witchwood and Furthermore. I think it actually goes Furthermore, and then Witchwood are like companion novels in a fantasy world that it was interesting at the time, but I don't ever think I would reread them. This is one of the most beautiful covers for a middle grade book, though. I think it's gorgeous. So I'll ask my daughter about those. She really enjoyed them. With the Winter House series, my son's actually currently reading book 3. These are so much fun. They have like word ladders or different, like every chapter has a different, what's the word I'm looking for, like fun language arts type thing. So some of them are word ladders, and then every book is something different, I think. I love the Premeditated Myrtle series. I actually need to buy book 5 yet. I love the Aggie Morton series. These are both historical, middle grade mystery series. Winterborn, Home for Vengeance and Valor. I think this is maybe supposed to be in my daughter's room. I think she has the other book there too. We're keeping Allie Carter books. Momentous Events in the Life of a Cactus was one of our favorite read-alouds ever. No, this one is first. Insignificant Events in the Life of the Cactus. And then Momentous was pretty good too. We laughed out loud so many times. Plus it was so serious. So I have to keep those. Chris Colfer's Queen Red Riding Hood's Guide to Royalty. I'm gonna ask my son about this one. He has like a few Land of Story books in his room. The Wild Robot is a favorite. Dead City. I've read book 1. I want to read 2 and 3. So I'm gonna keep those there for now. Now I can't talk anymore. Lightfall. This is a really beautifully illustrated middle grade graphic novel series that we've all enjoyed. The Faithful Spy, so good. It's like a non-fiction, not graphic novel, but oops, there's my notes about the book. I don't know how to describe it. Illustrated non-fiction about Dietrich Bonhoeffer. And Alone is one of my favorite middle grade free verse novels. So there's another stack piled up here. We've got Pembroke's Creaturepedia. This is part of the Wingfeather saga. We've got The Lightning Thief. That one will stay. This one will stay as well. And then we've got the entire Wingfeather saga. So good. We did these on audio. Love them. So they're gonna stay. And then there's okay, let's just move these actually. Ugh, they're heavy. Wishmakers and Wishbreaker. My daughter really did enjoy. I don't know if she will want to keep those. I'll ask her. And then we've got the Passages books. These are, I think, like biblical, what are they, like, I don't know what they are actually, honestly. They're Christian fiction, and I think they maybe have to do with some like biblical time travel or something. No, I've had them for years. No one's ever been interested in reading them, so I feel confident that those can go. Okay, I do have another middle grade shelf below this, but while we're at this level, we're gonna move over and we will do my nonfiction shelf. Okay, I think this is all Christian nonfiction. We'll start with the stuff on top. I bought this book on a whim a couple years ago because An Intentional Life was my blog name, and I didn't know about this book, and this book came out like right around the time that I started my blog. And when I read the book, it felt like I could have written it. So I want to reread this because it's been a few years. I don't really remember a whole lot. So I'm gonna keep that. Help, I'm Married to My Pastor. I read this a while ago, like sometime in the summer, I think. And it didn't feel applicable at the time because my husband, maybe last fall, he wasn't a pastor yet or hadn't been for long. So I'll keep that. Bonhoeffer. This is a book that I've tried to read multiple times and I just find it too dry. I've made it up to page 42. I've read like kids' versions of his story and that graphic novel, or whatever we're calling it, version. I think he's amazing, but I don't think I'm ever going to read this. Jared read it. I think he would be okay with getting rid of it. Every Woman a Theologian, definitely keeping. The Life and Faith Field Guide for Parents. I feel like this one's not talked about enough. I would really recommend this book. It's very practical on like how to teach your kids like skills and habits for evangelism, managing conflict, engaging culture, learning, character development. It's really good. A Slow and Certain Light by Elizabeth Elliot. I read this. I could probably get rid of that now. Just just move those for now. Systematic Theology, that one is Jared's. The Treasure Principle by Randy Alcorn is really good. The Hiding Place by Corrie ten Boom is amazing. Crazy Love, keep that. Prodigal God by Timothy Keller is one of my favorites. In His Image by Jen Wilkin, I took lots of notes and I have lots of papers in here. We did a book club on this with a bunch of ladies from my church a few years ago. I'll keep it for now. The Mingling of Souls by Matt Chandler. I feel like this one was kind of more geared towards people that aren't married yet. I'll ask Jared about that. Anything by Jenny Allen I really liked. I don't know if this book was mine or Jared's. Yeah, I guess it'll stay for, well, I'll ask him about that. The Church Planting Wife, I don't think I even finished that book yet. The Women of the Word by Jen Wilkin, this one is a favorite of mine. Raising World Changers in a Changing World is really good. Love-Centered Parenting is really good. Imperfect Disciple. Love Without Borders, this is Angela Braniff's book. I enjoyed that. Grace-Based Parenting is really good, but I think I'm done with it. Aggressively Happy I enjoyed. You Are the Girl for the Job. Letters to the Church. You and Me Forever. Listen, Love, Repeat. All really good. Love Your Church. I can't remember if I actually read this one. I think that's just Jared's book. Give Them Grace is another one that I've read and enjoyed, but I think could be passed on. That Sounds Fun was good. Homemaking by J.R. Miller. I read this forever ago. I think I'm done with that. New Morning Mercies is Jared's. The Art of Neighboring is really good. Anything by Brent Hansen is good. The Dream Giver. I think I'm done with that. Morning and Evening. This is by Spurgeon. I should actually read that. I think that was Jared's. Tramp for the Lord. This is by Corrie ten Boom. It was good, but like it definitely felt like it was written by a lady in her, I don't know if she was like in her 90s when she wrote it. It was a little scattered, but I'll get rid of that one. Costly Grace, that one's Jared's. More Brant Hansen, Andrew Peterson. Radical, this book like literally changed my life. Follow Me, I didn't really enjoy as much. Prodigal Church, that one's Jared's. Duties of Parents. Oh yeah, this is a Lamplighter book. I think I can get rid of that one. And The Normal Christian Life, that one's Jared's as well, so he can go through his books. So there's a few to get rid of and a few that I can fit in here now. Okay, and then right over here is a bunch of Nancy Drew, which I'm actually going to be getting rid of as well. So they're just there for right now, but I will put those in a box and try to sell them all together. Then we will go down one level. Okay, this is a mix of many different things in here. So let's see. Whoa, they're falling. Frank Preddy, this is one of his teen or tween books, Nightmare Academy. This is book 2, and I've never found book 1, so I can get rid of that. We've got some Tolkien. We've got The Children of Hurin and Silmarillion. Those should just go up on the Tolkien shelf. We'll keep those. I think Jared's read this. I would like to eventually. I don't know if he's ever read that. I could ask him if he wants to. Oh, it's got some cool illustrations in it. Maybe I'll just keep that one for now. Then I got some books that I picked up for my 10-year-old and he hasn't read. Heroes of 9/11, that one will just go. Hardy Boys, that one can go. Outlaws of Time, I think I have book 1 in my office on my unread shelf, but I don't think I'm probably ever going to read that. More Nancy Drew that just didn't fit up there. And Ashes, so this is after Chains. I still haven't read Chains, so I don't know why it's here and not downstairs. It should be downstairs. Okay, there's that. Now we will move over. All right, we have The Diary of Anne Frank, which I like this book, but I feel like there's better editions, and I think my kids, if there's an audiobook version, I know my daughter's read this book. I think my son would listen to it, so I think I'll get rid of that one, but don't take that to mean that I don't like it. Ella Enchanted, This one was fun, but I think that can go. This is okay, and here's where things are gonna get tricky. I'm gonna make a pile because we still, at this point, maybe by the time this video goes live I will, but as of filming it, I don't know if our foster kids are going to be moving with us. If they are staying with us, I want to keep books for them. If they are not staying with us, then I can get rid of some younger kid books. So, like Mrs. Piggle Wiggle's Magic, this is so fun to read. Well, pretty soon they'll be ready for it. But if they're not going to stay, then we're done with it. So I'm going to make a pile of books I'll get rid of if they go, but keep if they stay. So there's that one. Same with The 100 Dresses. I do like this one, but everyone else has like read it already. Listening for Lions. What did I don't remember what I rated this one. It was interesting. I don't think I gave it a rating. I will just get rid of this one. Pax, that one's so good. The War That Saved My Life. I don't personally love this series, so I'll see if my daughter wants to keep it, but I don't. Pictures of Hollis Woods is so good. Bridge to Terabithia is so good. This series I'm thinking of getting rid of. It's The Missing by Margaret Peterson Haddix. I might read one or two during middle grade March. If not, I'm unhauling all my read ones. I do think my son would like it, but I think he would like it on audio. So yeah, I'm gonna put this on the get rid of stack. The Grave Thief, I enjoyed this one. I bought it on audio. And I can't remember if my kids have listened to it or not. So, I'm torn. Maybe I'll just get rid of it because we have the audio as well. York is a fun series. I don't know where book 3 is. Oh well. Stella by Starlight. I didn't really enjoy that one. Inside Out and Back Again. I read this one apparently, but I don't remember it. So that's not really worth keeping then. Case Closed. These ones are fun. These are like choose your own adventure stories. It's one of those though, like I'll keep it for the littler kids. The Among the Hidden series, I don't think I've quite finished reading it. I think maybe I've read all the ones we own, or maybe I own the rest. But I don't think I need to keep them. I was just listening to them on audio. Then I have a bunch of these Penguin chalk editions, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, Pippi Longstocking. This is one of my son's favorite books. He's listened to it so many times. And Peter Pan. I don't really love Alice in Wonderland or Peter Pan, but I love those books. So, Princess Academy. I really enjoy this one. Bob. This is one of those ones that my kids that can read have read it already. So I'll put it down for the littler kids. There's another Case Closed book. Up here I've got When Hitler Stole Pink Rabbit. I loved that one. Hidden was really good. And From the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler. I loved this book in grade 4 and want to keep that. Then we have tons of the Christian Heroes Then and Now books. So I've just been collecting those slowly over the years. Keeping those. Only a couple books left on the shelf. We've got Teddy's Button. This is a Lamplighter reproduction book. I think it's pretty cute. Hate That Cat. Oh, my daughter was asking me if I was going to keep this book. I actually think not, because I like cats. This is a kind of like has a companion novel, which is Love That Dog. That one's really good. This one not as much. The Smartest Kid in the Universe. I got this one because my son likes Chris Gravenstein. I'll see if he wants to keep it. I don't really care to. Little Dog Lost. That's a favorite. A Long Walk to Water. Also a favorite. Winnie the Pooh. Maybe I should read this with the little kids now. I'm not a huge fan of the Pooh books, to be honest, but I want to be, if that makes sense. So I'm going to keep it, and we're going to try to read it soon. You know what? I'm just going to pull... There's another shelf of middle grade books. I'm going to pull them up here, and we'll go through them. The Gilded Girl. I really enjoyed this. This is like a little princess fantasy retelling type thing. Sweep, that was one of my favorites. Crenshaw was really good. The Unwanteds, this one I got because I thought the kids would want to read it, but they've never been interested, so I can get rid of that one. Then I own book 1 and book 3 in the Greystone Secrets series. I really do enjoy those. The one and only Ivan. This one was good. This is, what is this? The Immigrants Chronicles from Germany to America. I don't think anyone's ever read that. I've got Frindle. This one's hilarious. Keeping that. Winnie's Great War. I think I can get rid of this one. This one's about Winnie the Pooh, and it has illustrations. It wasn't that great, but the illustrations are really cute. Another Case Closed. That will go with my stack. The Woolstone Detective Agency. This was a fun little middle grade mystery series. I don't think we'll keep it though. Wonderstruck. We have a couple of Brian Selznick's books. They're like mixed with tons of pictures, tell part of a story, and then there's a couple pages of text and then tons of pictures, and they're pretty brilliant. We have Wonderstruck, and I don't know where it is. I think we also have The Invention of Hugo Cabret somewhere. Let's go through these next. The Year I Finally Won. This goes with the other book that I'm getting rid of. Rain Rain, that's a favorite of mine. Number of the Stars. Island of the Blue Dolphins was a favorite of my daughter's, but I don't know if she wants to keep it anymore. I'll ask her. A Single Shard, I really enjoyed this one. Prairie Lotus, I feel like we can get rid of. It was almost great, but I feel like it missed the mark a little bit. The Line of Mars was a fun middle grade science fiction series. Oh, I think my son is listening to the audiobook. Amari and the Night Brothers, if your kids want some like Harry Potter vibes, definitely that one. Little Cat's Luck, this goes with Little Dog Lost. So cute. Garlic and the Vampire was fun, but I don't think I'm going to keep it because I think the next book isn't very good, so I don't know. No point in keeping that. Next stack. The Screaming Staircase. This is also, I feel like if your kids like Harry Potter, they might like that. I'm going to keep that one. I've only read book 1. Escape from Mr. Lemoncello's Library. My son really likes that. The Penderwicks is cute. I think I'm going to put this on the if the little kids are staying. Once Upon a Marigold was part comedy, part love story, part everything but the kitchen sink. That's exactly what it was. It was fun, but I don't think it's worth keeping. Belle of Batoche is a local historical story. My daughter loved that for a long time. Another Mrs. Pigglewiggle. Freckle Juice. I'll put that with the little kids one too. That's a funny story though. Love that dog. Also love the book. And the last stack here, Underground to Canada. I read it in school and enjoyed it, but I tried to read it with my kids and we just couldn't get into it, so I'm going to get rid of that. Then there's all these Royal Diaries. To be honest, I was hoping they'd be as good as like the Dear Canada books. They're not, so we'll get rid of those. Little Pilgrim's Progress is really good. We read that together in our homeschool. Ruby Holler I enjoyed. So I just went from like 2 shelves to 1 shelf of books, so that worked out well. I'm feeling good about this. We'll see if my kids agree and don't just put all the other books back. Okay, this will be my last shelf. We have a couple of like picture book shelves, but I'll just do those on my own time. And obviously there's a bunch of picture books that have made their way here, as well as these illustrated Usborne books. We've got illustrated Dickens. That one is abridged stories. Little Women, unabridged, and Treasure Island, which is also unabridged. So I'm going to keep those. I think the Dickens stories I'm going to get rid of because I have like a different option for this. But, oh, and then there's a picture book here. I was going to get rid of this one. It's Once Upon an Alphabet by Oliver Jeffers. We don't actually ever read that. Okay, now we're on to middle grade stuff. So, first up, Fablehaven. My kids have tried, or at least my daughter has tried this multiple times, and she just can't really get into it. I think she's read, oh, that's probably her bookmark. She's read a decent amount, but just didn't love it, so no point in keeping it. Wish by Barbara O'Connor is really good. Esperanza Rising is one of my daughter's favorites. Words on Fire and A Night Divided are some of my favorites by Jennifer A. Nielsen. Resistance, I actually can't remember what that one was about. It was probably also good. And then her Ascendance, I call it a trilogy. We don't own beyond the first 3 books. I think it's 1, 2, and 3. The Length of a String was really good. I loved A Place to Hang the Moon, loved The Lost Year, Until Tomorrow, Mr. Marsworth, and When Stars Are Scattered. This one is a graphic novel. So that's pretty easy. And we've got Iceberg. Actually, I didn't enjoy this Jennifer A. Nielsen book, so I bet you we can get rid of that one. And then all that's left here is the Keeper of the Lost Cities books, which are staying. We own the illustrated and annotated book 1, which is pretty cool. It's cool to see, like, she's got little notes as to different things that she was either thinking about when she wrote them or mistakes that she made that didn't get picked up in editing. It's really cool. So that is my last go through of these shelves. I will probably still have another unhaul or 2 in the future. They just might not be going through the shelves bit by bit. So thanks so much for joining me. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you guys in my next video.